So the reason I chose that hymn, For All the Saints Who From Their Labours Rest, is because today is All Saints' Day. And indeed, that's a very important day in our church calendar. A saint is not someone who is in a stained glass window, but a saint is those who have come to faith in Jesus Christ. The Apostle Paul tells us in the book of Romans that those who have put faith in Jesus and who follow him, they are the saints. That's you and me. Behind me is the historical graveyard of Donaghadee here, which is connected to the parish church. Headstones go back to 1660, and there are many in the 1600s, 1700s and 1800s, and right up to the very present day. For many of these people who indeed lie here, many of them loved the Lord and they served the Lord in this community, and their heart was to share the gospel message that they had discovered and the life transforming experience too that they had followed as they've decided to walk and follow after the resurrected living Jesus. And so the remains may be here, but they are with God in glory. And so that is indeed where our hearts are fixed, isn't it? Often the Apostle Paul, throughout his writings, is always telling us to persevere, but to keep our eyes fixed on the end goal. And the end goal for us will be to be with Jesus, and indeed to enter into everything that he has prepared for us. So we're going to continue journeying around some of Donaghadee, and indeed we are going to hand over now to Emma, and Emma is going to bring our talk for today as we continue to look at the 10 Commandments. Today we're looking at that commandment, do not murder, and very poignant too on what is All Saints' Day as we celebrate life, and indeed as murder is something that takes away life. So I'm going to hand over to Emma. Emma.
Thanks, Arthur. Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you're all well, and it was great seeing Arthur all the way over in Donaghadee this morning. Today we're going to talk about number 6 of God's good rules, the 10 Commandments. But first, I want us to go back over rules 1 to 5, and let's see how many of these you can remember. So if you think you know them, you can join in, and why don't you get the adults in the room with you to join in as well. So here we go. Commandment number 1 is to put God first in your life. Commandment number 2, do not bow down to any false gods. Commandment number 3, God's name is special. We should treat it with respect. Commandment number 4, Sunday is a day of rest to spend time with God. And commandment number 5, remember to honour your father and mother. Okay, let's talk today about commandment number 6. Have you ever made something that you really were very proud of? Maybe it was a really nice piece of craft that you made in school one time, or maybe it was a really nice cake that you made at home, or maybe you made a really awesome creation out of a piece of Lego. Have a look at this photograph here. Here's Ali with some of the craft from her harvest pack, and she's made a gorgeous harvest bunting, and she looks pretty pleased with it, doesn't she? Have you ever made something that's made you smile just the way Ali smiles in this photograph? So how would you feel if someone took that lovely thing that you'd made and just smashed it all, just broke it all up into little pieces or stamped it on the ground? You'd probably feel maybe a bit like this, really mad. But actually most of us would probably feel like this, just really sad. Did you know, boys and girls, that God feels the same way about the things that he has made? Take a wee look outside your window this morning and have a look at all the things that you can see out there and all the people out there. Do you know that God made all those things? Those are his wonderful creations. He made every single thing that you can see out there. The Bible says that when he had finished making the world, God saw all that he had made and it was very good. God was very happy with his creation, and so it makes God sad when we hurt or harm or destroy the things that he has made. So God included it in one of his 10 good rules. So commandment number 6 says, do not kill. And what that means for us is that we know that it's really wrong to kill people, but what it also means is that it's wrong for us to hurt or harm anyone that God has made. And it's really important that we remember that, because there are lots of ways that we can hurt people. We can hurt people when we're too rough with them or when we punch or kick them. But there are other ways that we can hurt people too. We can hurt their feelings when we say mean things to them, when we're not kind, or when we don't treat them fairly. And God tells us, don't do that. Don't hurt the people I've made. Love them instead. And Matthew's going to be reading about that from the Bible a little bit later in our service. And this good rule from God reminds us that we're not to hurt or harm anything that God has made, not just people. So don't hurt pets or animals, and don't hurt or harm the world that God has made. Take good care of it. And we can help to do that by recycling things, or by picking up litter in the street, or even ask your mum and dad to help you find ways to take care of God's world and not harm it. So commandment number 6, do not kill. And we know for us that that means that we are to take care of the things that God has made, and we're not to hurt or harm any parts of his creation, because it's all good.